Have you been caught in a parent trap in your life? Let's talk about this in today's video. Okay, a parent trap is real. Maybe not in a literal sense, but certainly in an emotional or mental sense, it's very real. Now, as they're laying the trap, it's laying out limiting beliefs for the child. That starts building the trap. And as the trap continues to build and have quite a stronghold, the child in that trap is not going to question what this trap is all about. The trap was set maybe when the kid was 1 year old. But even if the trap starts being built at age 5 or 10 for the child, there's still a trap that's being built. Now, the sad thing about the trap is it's going to likely work, especially when the child is very young, because the trap is setting a pathway or a course of how the child is going to develop. Or really, we could call it the lack of development. And the lack of development is there because of the limited paths that the parents are allowing within the trap. They're allowing the limited paths through things like manipulation, gaslighting, some sort of abuse heaped on the child, emotional incest, of course. And now the trap is set and the parent can feel quite powerful and be quite happy with what they've done. I've set the trap and the trap is working, they're saying to themselves. Whether this is consciously or unconsciously driven by the parent, it's still happening. Now, the reason they may be happy with themselves in setting this trap is because now they likely feel powerful. Now, this could stem from their own childhood trauma in the sense that they've never felt powerful in their life. So now, by God, I'm going to feel power over my child. And now they're going to project on said child all of their garbage rather than dealing with their garbage in a healthy way. For example, number one, talking to a therapist, talking to a professional. Instead of doing that, they're going to take the easy way out, keep all their stuff in, and simply find ways to heap it onto others in their life. And specifically now we're talking about the child. So in many ways, the trap is a projection of the parent's crap that hasn't been dealt with. If they can have a scapegoat, if they can have a prisoner of some sort, if they can have this child on puppet strings, if they can abuse this child, then now they've found their release. That feels good to them. I don't have to look inward at my own stuff. I'm dumping it on him or her. So in that sense, they feel very powerful. Now, does this mean because they're feeling powerful, they're going to be some happy-go-lucky person? No, quite the opposite. They may have a sense of power and or relief inside because of what they're doing. But this comes from a very dark place. A person that can do this and keep a child in some sort of cage or trap means that they inherently are a bit evil, right? So the evilness may show in different ways. Typically, it can show in a dark way, but don't forget, sometimes parents can be very smiley. Toxic positivity that they display to others. They're a really good actor, they put on a really good show, but that's all part of the facade, you see. And part of the reason they're able to put on such a good show to others, I'm best mom of the year, I'm the #1 father in the country, is because a lot of their angst gets pushed onto this child who's in the parent trap. You see, we all need a release valve in some way, right? So for the child that's been caught in said trap and is an adult now trying to find their way out of it, remind yourself that this trap is the parent's perception of the world. That's their stuff. Yes, you may be highly conditioned now and feel like they've trapped you for life, but that's not necessarily true. You can begin finding yourself. And as you're finding yourself, if you struggle, which is understandable, right? Because you have to undo a lot of this toxic conditioning you've got your whole life. But ask yourself, do I want to carry on my parents' legacy? Is this really what I want to do with my life here on this planet? Yes, they set up a perfect trap for me. They had me in a parent trap, but now I'm free. And as I climb out of the trap, one of the things I want to do is wipe myself free of all their projected crap onto me, reminding yourself that that's their stuff. So then you can ask yourself, what am I all about? You may not have an answer for that, and that would actually be quite healthy and very normal. By being quite healthy, what it means is you stepped out enough to be free of your parents' crap, what was projected on you, all the conditioning, and now you're dusting yourself off and saying, wow, I don't really know who I am. What a great place to be, because now at this stage of your life, you can begin finding that out. In this case, you'll be deciding, not what your parents heaped onto you. It all depends on the viewpoint, right? Similar to a prisoner getting out of prison. Let's say they've literally been in jail for 20 years. Well, now they're free. Well, what are they going to do with that? Some may go on to a life of crime. Well, that's their choice. Some may want to go back to jail and find a way to go back there. Well, that's their choice. But others, and it's their choice too, may want to begin a whole new life that opens up all kinds of avenues and opportunities and the ability to explore oneself in ways that they're not even sure about yet, which will help them continue their path to freedom. It's all a choice. For those who are still in a parent trap or have recently gotten free, what direction do you want to go? It's up to you. I'd love to know any thoughts or comments you have about this. Please leave them in the comment section below. Please subscribe to my mental health YouTube channel if you like these kind of videos. And until next week, this is Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.